Hey, what up, everybody? It's Clay from the Sizzling Sasquatch food truck. Just another Canadian that's getting priced out of the market and taxed to no end. So if you found yourself here, welcome. Thanks for checking out our channel. And let's talk about it. So I've put out a few videos here over the last couple days, and I've had a lot of Americans reaching out to me, which is nice. I really love Americans, and all the feedback is greatly welcomed. But I wanted to go over a few things here because I keep getting the same comments and the same feedback that America's way too expensive and we're taxed way too hard and you don't even know what you're talking about. But today I brought some receipts here. So I just wanted to go over some of the things. Not to put anyone down or discredit anybody or anything like that, but I wish Americans to know that they got it really good compared to we Canadians up here. And this is one of the driving factors, what I'm about to show some of these things, as to why our family has made the decision to build a business, save up, and move to America, because what you're about to see might shock you. So here's my bill for my propane, okay? We live out in the sticks. I gotta heat our house, and to heat our house we gotta use propane because we don't have natural gas out here. So I have no choice. I gotta fill up this thing and I gotta use it every year. So it's kind of a necessity of life because it's -30 up here most of the winter. And if you don't have it, it's going to be pretty tough. So this might be backwards here, but so it was $1,000. I don't know if you can see this. $1,000 and 71. So 1,071. That's 1,200 liters of propane that I needed this year to fill up my propane tank. This is only to get me through 2 months as well. So this got me through January, and it's going to last me through February, and then I got to fill it again. Because our government loves us so much, and they think we haven't had it so good in our entire lives, they decided to implement something called a carbon tax that just punishes you for existing and living and trying to survive. So they told us that when we start paying this carbon tax, and increased it every year for the last couple years, that the higher and higher the carbon tax gets, the better off we're going to be as Canadians, and it's going to help fight climate change. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't noticed any drop in fires. To each their own. But here's a little taste. On that $1,071, it was $156.04 just in the carbon tax. I'm sorry. Carbon tax. Sorry, it's backwards here. But $156. And then they love you so much that they charge you the tax. See? Government sales tax on the tax. So it's a double tax, which is another $61.82 for a grand total of $217.86 extra just in tax, just to survive, just because your government loves you so much here in Canada. Isn't that precious? Anyways, it's a real touchy subject for me because not only is it carbon tax on heating my house, but I just went and filled up my gas tank, and every time I fill my truck, it's about an extra $20 than it should be. And every time I fill my car, it's about an extra $12 than it should be because of the lovely carbon tax. And then you get the tax on top of the tax, right? So right now, last time I was in Florida in November, a gallon of gasoline, regular unleaded gasoline down in Florida, was around $2.40 American, which was excellent. Okay, we had our truck down there. Every time I go fill up the truck when it's at halfway up here in Canada, it's around 120 to 140 in that range for half a tank of gas. That's what it cost me to fill it. Okay, when I was in Florida, you have to prepay for your gas. When the truck's at halfway, I always fill my truck at halfway. I went and give them $100 bill because I'm used to, I was used to 120, 140. So I was like, okay, I'll give them $100 bill and that should, fill it up. So I go fill my truck and it only takes about $35 or $40. So I get like $60 or $65 back, okay, in American dollars when I fill my truck. So it was shocking to me. So I just went and filled the car earlier, and it's $1.65 per liter. So in a gallon, there's about 4 liters. So let's do the math on that. 165 times 4. It's about, $6.60 a gallon we're paying up here. Okay? Crazy amounts. I'm gonna show off a couple of paychecks here. Okay, these really burnt me the most. Okay, since I'm running the food truck and my wife, she was working at the time, these are her paychecks or her pay stubs. Because I'm not drawing an income, I'm building the business and I'm just keeping all the money in the business and reinvesting it in the business right now. So she was the one that was working here last time. But yeah, so she went and she works her butt off. Okay, she's one of the hardest workers I ever met. She works her butt off, and that's what really, really, really upsets me about this whole thing. It's because she goes and she works so hard, and she's always working 16-hour shifts, and she's always working extra days. And the poor girl, she barely gets any time off, and she does it because she loves her family and she knows it's what needs to be done. But what really burns me is when she gets her paycheck and how disheartening it is that you work so much and they just take everything from you. It seems like it's disturbing. Okay, and then our precious government here. Okay, January 1st they raised the payroll tax up, so it's going to be about an extra $4,500 to $5,500 extra in tax in a full pay year for you, and then your employer is going to have to pay about the same amount in tax as well to have you as an employee. So isn't that great? But anyways, she worked over Christmas, Boxing Day. She worked all the holidays. She worked lots and lots of double times and overtimes during this pay period because she wanted to make some extra money around Christmas. And bless her heart for that. She's a trooper, and we can't thank her enough for going out and working while the business was growing. And she's such a phenomenal woman. But she went out and she worked her buns off, and I'm sorry this is backwards, but she netted about $5,500 in salary from all the triple time, all the double time, all the holidays being away from Christmas and working her butt off. Okay, so when she got her paycheck, she was shocked. I was shocked. We were horrified that she went and put in all this extra time, and they took nearly, sorry this is backwards, but $2,000, okay? $1,956.61, nearly $2,000 from her for skipping all the holidays from us and working extra, okay? It was so discouraged. She was so sad. Why did I work all this extra time and put in all this extra work when they take so much from me? Isn't the point of working extra to get extra? Sure, you get a little bit extra on your paycheck, but they took so much from her. She's just like, why would I ever want to do that again? Why would I want to go work extra? It's $2,000. How does the government go to bed at night or sleep at night knowing that you're going to work and you're working 16-hour days and holidays and weekends, and you're away from your family during the holidays and Christmas, and you're putting in all these extra shifts, and they just come in, they just swoop, boom, $2,000, thank you. Very upsetting. And then here's one from after Christmas. Okay, so this was a bunch of doubles. Okay, there was no holidays around this time, but this was a bunch of double shifts and extra days off that she worked. So she ended up doing about $4,200 in salary, okay, with all the overtime and everything. And then when they were done taxing her, this was pretty upsetting too. It was nearly $1,400. See the deductions? $1,400 they took from her paycheck. $1,375.35. She wanted to go make up some extra after Christmas, because of the holidays. You eat, You take care of the child, make sure she has a nice Christmas, and and she wanted to go make some extra hours, and they just said, well, we want some extra too. So they took nearly $1,400, and this is a regular occurrence. When she just works a regular paycheck, it's almost $1,000 every, like, just bang. You go to work, and we'll take it, right? You go make $3,500, we're gonna take $1,000, and well, you can have $2,500, like. And then on top of that's just when you go to work. Okay, so on top of that, you pay your bills, you get taxed. You go shopping, that's 12% income tax, or 12% tax rate, 5% from the government, and 7% from the province, which would be like the state. We're taxed to no end up here. Okay, you know what really burns me too is I got a Florida phone number. Okay, for the business down in Florida, I pay $14 a month for my phone to have my Florida phone number. You know how much I gotta pay for a Canadian phone number up here with similar features? $75 plus tax. It's disturbing, okay? So then every time you go out, you fill up your truck, you get hit with that carbon tax. Every time you go to the grocery store, you pay the tax plus the carbon tax plus the tax. Everything, we are taxed so bad that I put out a video the other day, and I stated some facts that the Fraser Institute did, and it's nearly 50% of your income goes to taxes here in Canada. Okay, I don't know I know it's not like that down in the United States. Maybe California it is, but I got friends in California, and they own a house, they got cars, they're having barbecues every day, they're living the good life, and they don't work crazy hours all the time, and it's not like that. And up here, we work our butts off. I'm running the business. I'm cooking constantly. I'm prepping. I'm investing back into the business. The wife, she's out working away, and we can't get ahead. We're just taxed so bad, and then the price of everything goes up and up and up. Like the food cost for the businesses just went up like damn near 15% in the new year here. Okay, and April 1st. When April 1st rolls around, they're going to crank that carbon tax up again. It's going to be like 21 cents a liter extra for gasoline. So all these things, sorry about my little rant here, but all these things are driving factors as why our family has decided we are moving to the United States. Now, I keep hearing from Americans. I got friends in Texas. I got friends in New Mexico. I got friends in California. I got friends in Washington state. And they keep saying how bad it is there. But then I tell them how bad it is here. And they're like, well, maybe it's not that bad here. So I appreciate all the feedback. And I love all the comments and everything like that. But America, you got it really, really, really good compared to us Canadians. So when you're telling us that maybe we should think twice because it's too expensive down there, we've thought about it twice and 3 times and 4 times. And when we get there, our costs are going to drop in half instantly. So we've thought about it. We've done our research. We're coming to Florida. We're bringing our business down there. We've already, like I said, we already got the business open. I got a Florida phone number. We opened the LLC. We're working our buns off this summer. We'll see what happens. But I just wanted to go into some of the taxes and how bad it is. Oh, and then when you do your taxes at the end of the year, the government doesn't give you a tax refund. Even though we have a daughter, we don't get a tax refund. You know what they say? Is you haven't paid enough taxes, you still owe us some money. Isn't that precious? You've paid them all this money the whole way along, and every time you go out, and every time you blink, every time you wake up, they tax you. Every time you go to bed, you get taxed for sleeping. But at the end of the year, when you do your taxes, and you're like, oh wow, I've paid like $30,000-$40,000 in taxes, and they're like, oh, well, you haven't quite paid enough yet, so maybe you should pay us some more. It's a real eye-opener, okay? It's a real eye-opener. And, yeah, I want to encourage you Americans to appreciate what you got. It may like I'm sure things have gone up there from what you're used to, and it seems expensive to you, but compared to us Canadians, it's like you guys are living the dream. Like you have it so good. Like your housing prices are half price. Okay? If I wanted to go out and get a house right now, a little shack somewhere, it's $400,000 or $500,000. If like I've looked all across America at housing, and you can go get a nice little house, like a 2-story on an acreage for like $300,000. Like you like a house like that over here, 7, 8, 900,000. A little 1-bedroom condo. Okay, my friend, she lives in Calgary, Alberta. She bought herself, what was it, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo? Or was it a 2-bedroom? Regardless, it's on the main floor. It's in an older community, maybe 30 years old. And it is $340,000 for a condo. So you're paying that mortgage, then you got the strata fee and your property taxes. So by the time you're all in every month for your little tiny condo, just to own it, it's probably close to $3,000, $3,200. Now, if you wanted to go rent that condo, okay, so you want to go rent a little 1-bedroom condo, you're looking at around here, a little 1-bedroom condo in the town is probably $1,400. Okay, and it's not a nice town. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we live out in the middle of nowhere. If you go into the city, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Kelowna, all those places, a 1-bedroom condo, you're looking at $2,000. Okay, 2-bedroom, $3,000. You want to rent a house, $3,500, $4,000. So they've right priced us out of the market. And not only that, is you go to work, you work your butt off trying to get ahead, and they just take everything from you even harder. It makes you not even want to work so hard. No wonder this country is in such disarray right now, because the harder you work, the harder you get taxed, and it's so discouraging. Why would anybody want to go work extra to try to get ahead? Because when you try to get ahead, you get farther behind. So there's my little rant for the day. I love you Americans. I love you Canadians, but you need to understand y'all got it pretty good down there, and that's why we were just down in Lake Tahoe, California here this in November. Loved it. Love California. Love Lake Tahoe. Such a beautiful place, but y'all got it so good down there, and I know it's not good in your sense of what you're used to, but for us, on how we have it, it is so good and so cheap and so affordable. It was like 10 years, like whatever the prices were up here 10 years ago is what it's like down there now, okay? It's like, that's what it's like for us. And maybe your standard of living has increased and yada, 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 and everything like that, but y'all still have it so, so, so good. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I've been getting a lot of comments about, oh, you should think twice, do your research, it's not affordable, it's not, compared to Canada, it's like we can have some money left over at the end of the day to put away and have some savings. We can buy a house, we can get a mortgage that's not so bad. You know, like we can live a better life. The cost of living is a lot better down there for sure. And the quality of life, like maybe healthcare, I know I'm gonna probably hear in the comments, oh, but you guys got free healthcare down here, you got to pay for it. Do you know what free healthcare looks like here in this country? It looks like 12, 14, 18-hour waits in an emergency room just to get a prescription filled because you cannot find a family doctor. Okay, so you got to go wait in an emergency room for 12 hours just to see a doctor to get like I got a little bit of eczema on my hand here from washing my hands all the time in the food truck. And to get that little ointment, since we don't have a family doctor, I got to go sit in an emergency room for 12 hours until they get around to me just to write me a prescription or a refill so I can get a little bit of cream with some steroids in it to put on there to clear up my skin from when I'm washing it so bad. You got to go see a specialist. It takes you 6 to 8 months just for the doctor to refer you to the specialist. Then the specialist calls you and says, we're booking a year and a half out. So a year to a year and a half later, So it's basically a year and a half to 2 years to see a specialist, like a dermatologist or a cardiologist, any of these things. Unless you drop right there from a heart attack or something, you're not seeing the specialist for over a year, okay? And a surgery, they're booking years down the road. You could literally pass away waiting for a surgery because it's that bad, okay? We don't have free dental here. You got to go pay for your own dental. But as far as the healthcare goes, it is so bad. Just to go get blood work, it could take you over 2 months. Just to go get poked with the needle and get your blood drawn. And then it could take another 6 or 8 weeks just to hear back from a phone call from the doctor. And then if you need an appointment to go talk about it, we're talking another couple months down the road from there. So maybe y'all don't have the healthcare like we do, but our healthcare, I'd much rather pay for the healthcare privately or upfront to get it done right then and there. It would make a lot of difference, and it would help a lot of things out. So there we are. Thanks for watching. If you found any value in this video, please like and subscribe. Yeah, so we'll catch you on the next one.